Yvonne here, and thank you so much for joining us. Super excited about today's episode because I have Alison Ellis of Real Flower Business with me. She's been on many past shows, chat about pricing, marketing, videos, and more. So many great things. So if you haven't listened or watched, make sure you check out those past episodes. But today she is here to talk about something totally different. She has a brand new book called Falling into Flowers, a step-by-step guide to today's modern wedding business. Bam! Right there, guys. So excited, so proud of her. Being an author, such a new level, right? And we're just going to talk all about her book. So come and join us. Come in, say hello. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments. We'll be sure to get to them, whether it's about books, design, pricing, marketing, video, social media, whatever. You can post whatever, but love to kind of dig into her book a little bit. So keep on coming in. And also I wanted to let you know, if you're new to the show, if you are listening live and you have to leave early, that's okay. We post the replay, the video replay, and a podcast replay up on our blog along with the show notes. So all of that will be up in a day or two, and the video replay on YouTube and Facebook, because we are simultaneously streaming live to both of those platforms because we're fancy like that now, will be available pretty much like almost right after we're done with the live. So you guys can check that out. And then if you are not subscribed to our email, I'm posting a link so you can check that out. If you subscribe, you'll know anytime we post to the blog. You'll know about all of our news and events, anything that we're doing. So just subscribe, be part of our community, and it's just another layer of that. So I just wanted to say good morning to Nancy. I see Gloria here. Hi, ladies. How are you? Keep it coming. And we're going to get started with this show. Hey, Alison.
Hello, Yvonne. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. It's so exciting.
I know. So excited. I feel like we need to have like party favors, make some noise.
I know, like I should have like cut up some confetti or something.
I know, right?
Really
yes. Save all the confetti that my mom sends the girls in the mail.
My friend and I have a joke about like sort of sending confetti back and forth to each other to ruin each other's lives. And we've been doing that for many years. It started with Halloween about 20 years ago, and we still spam each other from time to time.
I love it. It's cute. I know. My mom does it. I'm just like, oh, I need to do it back to her. Something that they have those cards now that you open it and like sprays things out. That's what I want to send to my mom.
Something that'll really get her good.
Yes, exactly.
My next book will open it up and something will get you.
I love it. I love it. So good. So for those of you for the people who are watching that don't know who you are, can you just introduce yourself a little bit and share just part of your flower story and how all of this came to be?
Yes, of course. So thanks again for having me. My name is Alison Ellis. If you're not familiar with me, I have a website called realflowerbusiness.com that'll tell you all you need to know about me and more. But I have been a floral designer for 25 plus years. I think 25 years sounds good, but I don't want to be like 26, 27, 28. So over 25 years. And I've been running my own home studio business where I focus mostly on weddings for the past 18 years. So what I am here to talk about today is my new book, Falling into Flowers, where I really share everything that I've learned about running a successful business as a solopreneur, as a floralpreneur, whether you're super small or you're someone who does a lot of weddings. The stuff that I teach is designed for you to help you feel successful and confident as you move forward and do your own business your way. I lay out the really adaptable steps in my book and in my courses. Everything I do is meant to be like something you can also do, not just to show off like, look what I learned, but if you're not me, you can't do it. You know, it's things that are very, very easy for you to adapt yourself.
Yes, I love the book. I didn't have a chance to read the whole thing yet. I have gone through it and seen all the different things that you've included. It's really amazing. But what really motivated for you to write a book? Because I know it probably takes, I'm sure there's a huge process that goes behind creating a book. And I know that you have your courses and you have so many different facets of your business. So what really was like, okay, I'm going to do a book. Let's do this.
Well, I have always kind of wanted to write a book. Years ago, the thing about me is I'm very business focused, right? So I know that floral designers are often very proud of the creative side and less into the business side. I'm really into both. So I really, really love the business piece. And so I always am seeking more knowledge on like, how can I dive deeper, be more branded, more authentic, more likable, more reaching the right people. That's always what I'm thinking. What's the next level? Right. And so years and years ago, like probably 15 years ago, I was like, I should write a book. Like, that's how I'll build my authority, right? That's how I will establish myself as being a good floral designer, is I'll write a book and then my customers will buy the book, right? And that's how I will take over the world. And so like every year I would make a portfolio book and I would think, oh, these will be like, I had a file that was, these are photos for my book one day, like these are the ones that I'll put into the book. And then as years have gone by, where I started, writing articles, like I blog, right? I've been blogging for over 10 years. So through writing and through writing articles for Florist Review, that's where then Travis from Florist Review, who published the book through Wildflower Media, said, hey, would you want to write a book? And because I had planted this seed for myself so many years ago, it was such an easy yes,
Right.
That's one of my gauges. As when you get into business and you start to have your, your own level of clout, whatever that is for you. You're like, I only need 5 weddings a year. I got those 5 weddings. I'm good, right? Or you need 200 weddings a year. Whatever that comfortability is for you. The idea is to get to that point where if it's not a heck yeah, it's a no, right? And it was such a heck yeah. Like, I totally know I want to do that. So it was an easy yes.
I love it. I'm just going to post the link for the book because I have people asking about the book. Patricia says, is this book ebook or hard copy?
It's a real book. I think we may have a digital copy at some point. I'll have to find out about that. And you can order it right from, where am I? You can order it right from Florist Review. You could also order it from me and I'll sign it and I'll send it to you. So you can pick how you want to get it. You can pick your option.
I have a signed copy.
My friends down at the post office, my new friends at the post office, they're probably spent about an hour there yesterday shipping books out.
Oh my, that's so crazy.
That.
So Travis approached you about writing this book and you mentioned how you write for Florist Review. How long have you been writing for Florist Review?
That's the kind of thing that someone would look up before they come and do an interview with you about their book for accuracy. I think I want to say probably like 2018-ish. My friend Francoise Weeks called me one day and she was like, I just was doing an interview with Florist Review and I told them they should get in touch with you to like write for them. I was like, oh, well, thank you. So we did. And then that was a nice intro to, being a pretty regular contributor. Sometimes I'm in there almost every single month out of the year. So it's fun and challenging. I get given a topic sometimes instead of me just doing whatever I want to do. So it's
right.
It's an interesting, different way to kind of have an assignment instead of just doing whatever I want to do. It's been great to be able to be associated with Florist Review.
Yeah, Travis says I think has done a really great job with the magazine, and I love him. I think he's a great guy, and yeah, I love what he's doing. It's very good. I think involving people like you, and I know there's so many other writers that he gets involved with the magazine. I think it's just a really great thing. It's good stuff. Yeah, and they're beautiful. Like I save like all my magazines now from Florist Review because all the covers are so beautiful. All
Mhm.
the content is good. So you guys gotta check it out if you
And
haven't.
yeah, I mean, it's an industry staple, like I
Mhm.
never worked at a flower shop that didn't subscribe to Florist Review ever.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Kim says, just grab my copy. Thanks, Kim.
Oh, yay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And then Patricia said she's in Ghana and would have to let a friend buy and then bring it to her. That's a good idea,
You
Patricia.
can do that. I've been shipping them. I've been getting a lot of requests to ship them internationally, so I am doing that. It's cost
Okay.
more than the book to ship them, but it's very flattering when someone's like, I don't care, I'll pay $25 for shipping for your $20
Oh,
book.
that's very sweet. That's awesome.
It
I
is.
love that. I love that.
And I can say I've done that myself too. If something's coming from overseas, you're paying more in shipping than the item itself.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. So I feel like I hear many authors talk about how they discover more about themselves when they're going through a process of writing a book. Did you learn anything new about yourself while you're creating Falling into Flowers?
I will tell you, I think the biggest thing I learned is what a tremendous value it brought to me to have an editor and a designer, to have other people to collaborate with. It's just something I don't have the honor of doing that, frankly. Of course I collaborate with my clients, right, to make floral designs and stuff. But when I'm writing
Yeah.
for a Real Flower Business, when I'm creating videos or course, I do it all myself. Every now and again, I'm smart enough to have someone proofread something. But for the most part, I don't have someone saying, you've said this 5 times, cut this out. It's really nice to have someone edit me and yet keep my voice. I didn't feel like it didn't sound like me. Like, oh, there weren't notes where I was like, I would never say this.
Right, right. Yeah, no, that's cool. Very cool. And how long did it take to create the book? Am I allowed to ask that?
Yeah, of course. It would be hard to say fully accurately, but the way it came together was, Travis said, would you want to put together a book based on all the articles that you've already written for Florist Review? And so that became a no-brainer, right? Because I'm like, oh yeah, I've already done the work. So
Right.
it started sort of with a hodgepodge of pulling together work I had already done. I just want to say, this goes back to what you and I talk about a lot when we do chats together. You gotta blog, you gotta create content, right? And so because I created content, when it came time to write a book, I had content to pull from. So even though it wasn't just like, oh, we're gonna cut and paste these articles together and turn it into a book, which sounds easier than it would have been anyway, I had a framework. And in fact, I had more than we put in this book. It was like, listen, we got to cut I think there was almost not double the amount of content, but almost double the amount of content. And the editor, Robin, was like, we can't put this all in one book. It's just too much. So that kind of thing is, how it got built was starting. I always say, start before you're ready. Like we were just talking about homeschool a few minutes ago. My third grader took some writing, write a bad sentence and then turn it into a good sentence later. You got to start bad before it gets good.
Exactly.
And so that's how it got put together. I would say we spent, I guess I would say maybe about a year. We certainly had a little bit of a COVID slowdown in everything. But in terms of pulling it all together, I did my part, then the editor hops in and does her part. Then we have the graphic designer come in and make it all look really great and help us pull it all together. And then going through that until it's finally done. So probably about a year.
So cool. I love that. I don't know if that interests everyone else that's watching, but I love learning about new things and the process and what it took to get there. So
well, I think a lot of florists have a book in them. A lot of florists have something they want to share, something they want to write. And the thing is, you got to get started,
You do indeed. You do indeed. That's definitely something we talk about that all the time. Even if it's not perfect right off the gate, that's okay. You just have to get started on something new. Otherwise, you're always going to have an excuse for why you're not doing it. You always are going
Always.
to
And I always go back to that, like, if it's perfect when you release it, you waited too long. You waited too long. You worked on it too much before you put it out there.
I love it.
Need feedback from people to see, is it good or is it not good,
Yes. Yes. So good. That like gave me chills. I love that. Okay.
Aww.
So this book has 7 chapters. Do you have a favorite?
Oh my gosh. The truth is I really do love them all, because the beauty of having an editor, helping to put them in the right order and they really build on each other in terms of, like, this book is not about design. So that's a really important thing. It's not about how to, like, make a hand-tied bouquet or boutonnieres or the basics of design. This book assumes that that you are seeking that knowledge, you are getting that knowledge someplace, or you have it already in your life. And because it's fundamental, it's so important to have basic design skills. And then this is going to teach you how to, get the customers, how to price your work, how to actually book the client, because we can know how to design. It goes back to what I was just saying, like, as designers, we love to focus on the design side.
Yep.
If you have a beautiful design, but you don't know how to price it or get a customer to agree to buy it at that price, you don't get to make as many of those beautiful designs as you want. So it's the balance of all these things that come together, the yin and the yang, that are the design part and the business part, that keep each other, going forward.
Mm-hmm. So chapter 1 is how to become a wedding florist.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 2, finding your niche. Do you say niche? Is that how you say it?
Well, I'm
How
from
do you
New
say it?
Jersey originally,
Do you say
so
niche?
I feel very fraudulent when I say niche, but I do when I'm trying to be proper. But yeah, niche or niche, we love it either way.
I always say it, and then I'm like, I don't know. Is that how everyone else says it?
Like, being from Jersey, I can't say vase. Like, I'm such an imposter.
Yes.
She's an imposter. She's from New Jersey. She doesn't say vase.
Yes. Yes. I don't say vase either. The vase. Okay. How to sell a wedding. So good. Money talk. The business Q&A. Wedding planning and production. And then finally, the long game. I think those are all amazing topics. But you didn't answer my question. What is your favorite?
I was gonna say, that's the one people really like, and I'm like the most proud. I'm gonna see if I can find that page real quick. I'm like, we loved this picture, the editor and the designer and I, and really, really wanted this page to work out. And we're so happy with it. So this is like a whole production schedule for the week for a larger wedding that I did in 2019. So it walks you through, one of the big questions we get a lot. How soon can I make a boutonniere? What day can I do this? How early should my flowers arrive? So this walks you through that, like what I did every day of the week and after the wedding, because there was cleanup on that big wedding, to walk through every day and what goes into that.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's awesome. People are going to love that. And you have so many cool checklists in there. You have this wedding day toolkit checklist. So I feel like I saw another one in there too.
These are some of the major things people ask, like, what do you bring to a wedding? Well, here's everything I bring to a wedding. I want it to be a real resource guide for you.
Yes. Yes. I love this too. And then another topic that we get asked a lot is like, booking clients, booking weddings. And so you have like a whole page just saying, it says quick and essential tips for booking a wedding, which I think is great. I think people are going to love that.
We need to simplify. Sometimes people reinvent the wheel over and over again. Each client, it's like, what do I do now? Where am I in the process? Versus just sort of having an understanding, like, first they email me, then I email them, then we have a phone consultation, then there's a proposal, then we're under contract. You have this easy progression. So you're not going, when should I bill the client? When should I follow up? What if I haven't heard back from them and I gave them a proposal 3 weeks ago?
Right.
There doesn't need to be that confusion. There's a plan. We have an app for that.
Yes. I love it. So let me see. Oh, Patricia was talking about watching YouTube videos and she loves them. I don't know if it's our videos or your videos, but thank you.
Probably both. They're both.
Yes.
I recommend both of our channels.
Exactly. Right. Love it. So I know you kind of talked about that this is not a design book. This is a business book. And, we went over some of the topics that are in here, but if you could name maybe the top 3 key takeaways that you wanted people to walk away after reading this book, what would you say those are?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think the main things are that it doesn't matter how new you are or how established you are in your business. There are certain standards that we follow. So you don't have to be, oh, well, I'm only a year in business, so I don't deserve to charge industry standards on pricing. Or, well, I've always done it this way, so that's the way I'm going to just keep doing it, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We should always be looking for that way to level up our business and simplify. So that would be one of the things. I also want people to walk away with truly confidence, either confirmation that what they're doing is very much in line with what, how to handle customers in this day and age, right? Again, it goes back to the way we used to sell a wedding is different than how we do now.
Yes.
Make sure you're doing it in a way that sees today's customer and what they're looking for, how they need to be serviced. And really that you can have freedom in your business. You don't have to be a luxury floral designer. You don't have to be, I don't want to say cutthroat, but you don't have to be constantly searching for more. You can be happy with your small business, but just maximize, this is always what I'm preaching, maximize your margins and reduce the amount of time you're putting in. Then you have that freedom piece that makes you happy to have your business and not going, I started this business and I thought it would give me freedom, but instead I am sitting at a desk all day and not doing the part that I love,
Yeah, exactly. When you're talking about, the people who say and kind of get stuck in their ways because that's how they've always done it, that's something that is just always resonates with me because I'm always pushing. I'm always saying, I'm never satisfied with the status quo. I just always feel like things can be better and you always have to evolve, even if it's something small. I think that's okay. I think when I say that, people are like, oh my God, everything's going to change. And it's not really that. It's just looking at everything and evaluating things as you're going. So that way you can figure out how you need to change and how you need to evolve. Because if you don't, then we're all going to be a bunch of blockbusters, right? And or Toys R Us, and no one wants that, right?
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that I one of my favorite things of when I talk with you is that you have that I'm not afraid to try something new thing in you too. I think you and I have in common, we just accept it. We don't fight it. We just let it wash over us. All right, we need to do live videos now. All right, let's do this.
Yes.
We're not no, we can't though, but I don't have time, but my hair isn't right. We're we're doing this.
Yeah.
You on the other side, and I respect that about you a lot because I think it is why so many people tune in, right? Why your videos have so many views, because you're doing them. It's really, that's the secret, guys. It's because she's doing it at all. It's why you're watching.
Yeah, I'm not perfect. No, not at all. I stutter still. Last week, I couldn't say digitize at all. The digitization of business, I still have a hard time saying it, but that's okay. I'm okay with that,
You're bold enough to try it. One of my favorites is, for some reason, I like to say what I do is duplicable. That's my one I like to just throw out there. Duplicable, baby. I'll say it loud many times. Duplicable.
I love it. Yes. I know. And we just put ourselves out there. I mean, I had crazy COVID hair for a very long time, haven't had my hair done. I finally
Still had to show up. I
oh,
know I had roots like I know.
I
Still
know,
showing
they're
up.
like down to here. All my grays, I was like, hopefully everyone just thinks they're blonde, you
They
know?
do look blonde from here, baby.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I love that. I like change. I just came from that mindset. My first like career path, I guess, was at Progressive, and it was always a saying like, well, if you don't like how it is now, don't worry, it's gonna change soon. Because everything is always constantly changing. So it was that kind of, I feel like, set me in that mindset of like, okay, this is good. This is good stuff. You just got to get used to it.
It's so true. And if there's anything that this year has taught us, it is that change will come whether you're ready for it or not, whether you want it to or not, whether you like it or not. So
Yes.
buckle up, right?
Buckle up. I know. So I know like e-commerce is a big thing for businesses. I don't know like how that like touches florists. Have you heard of anyone like how they've like pivoted? That's like the big word this year. Pivoted their business to be either more e-commerce. I know people are like looking into like updating their websites or adding different types of products to what they normally sell. I know like Drew Rios from I can't remember, Fox and something. I'm so sorry, Drew. I'm terrible, especially when I'm live. I have like the worst memory. But she like created like a whole new candle line, and they're like really good with their hands. So like cutting boards and things like that
Awesome.
with this like beautiful wood that they love, and they're really involved with all of that. So I'm just curious of like what you're seeing on your end.
I was doing I picked up some coaching clients over the last few months. And what was interesting to see was people downgrading from a shop to just doing virtual terminals, right? Just you can place an order and they're still doing just what they were doing. They just don't have the shop anymore because it didn't make
Right.
sense to pay for rent if they weren't going to have people coming in. That was, I thought, a very interesting and I don't want to say easy transition because none of it's easy, but you're simplifying versus adding on and trying to figure out how you're going to, find a space or, because someone had asked like for some tips about opening a shop. Is that in our prompt? Did I just,
You can jump into it. That's fine. Yeah. Rosie sent in a question. How can I best prepare to open my flower shop in March? What steps can I take now? 1, grab this book. 2, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's a great question because it's a big question. And I get questions like this a lot, actually, like, what are all the mistakes I should avoid before I open my business? I'm like, that's a big question.
Yes.
I actually have a couple of free resources though. Like I have one that's like literally because I've gotten that question so many times, everything I wish I know before I started my flower business. I have that's a free ebook that I have with some tips about, how I got started organically. When you do have a shop though, I mean, the real first thing is, especially if you're going to open it in March, a business plan. You need a business plan that tells you, and I think a lot of people open their shops without a business plan and then run their businesses for 20 years without a business plan. So if you are in any of that, if you are new without a business plan or 20 years in without a business plan, it's a great time to do a business plan. And I always encourage people. I have a Patreon membership group, and we just did a business planning challenge in October because I think October, November, December, this last quarter is the perfect time to do your planning. You want to know what you're looking at for next year. You want to know what your sales are saying so far for next year. You want to know, like for me, I want to know what's the minimum I'm going to sell.
Yep.
Not to be little Miss Debbie Downer here, but like, who knows how many more COVID cancellations we're going to have, right? Blah.
All right.
But I'm saying it out loud because we don't know. So if we have a cancellation, if we have a postponement, are you building that into your worst case scenario plan right now? I would personally just say yes. I would say build in that you have some of what you're planning for 2021 getting undermined by continued just uncertainty, right?
Right.
It's not, it's not fun to talk about. I did blog about it. If you go to realflowerbusiness.com, I've got some tips on like if you've got people inquiring about cancellations already, because people are starting to inquire about it. But get your business plan together so you know what you expect your business to do for you. That's like a question. What do you expect your business to be able to deliver to you? So if you're opening this shop in March, how much money are you investing? How soon do you expect to get paid? We always want to pay ourselves, even when we're first starting out in our business. And, there are some people who don't have that business plan, been running their business for 20 years and been barely paying themselves for 20 years too. Gonna say that out loud too, because it's true.
Yeah, it's so true.
So with a little bit of business planning, you can get a better sense. What do I want to pay myself? How much do I need to sell in order to pay myself that? Do I want to have somebody else at this shop besides just me? Because then how much do I need to sell, right?
Right.
Do I need to have 5 employees, 3 employees, 2 employees? Am I a one-woman show? Like, what are you really going to need to generate? And then how do you do it? How many arrangements is that a day, a week, a month, a year? How do you make that happen? And I think that's why we see so many flower shops, right, who rely on the holidays, right? Those holidays carry you through. So that's why now, I saw something show up on Facebook and it said, Thanksgiving pre-order, like just on Monday or something. I'm like, this isn't a pre-order. This is just barely get your
Yes.
I almost cursed. It's barely your time to get your centerpiece, right? Pre-orders, you'd be having those people pay you in October. That'd be a pre-order in my book, right? So I think we need to get really on top of how our business brings in money and then how you get on top of those customers so that you're bringing in that money as soon as possible to your business. We shouldn't start a business going, and then it'll be profitable in year 3.
Right.
That's like a very old school sort of way of thinking that we'll put in this much capital and that, no, we want to be making money right away. So the business plan, that's the first thing to do.
I like it. I like it a lot. Business plan that includes your marketing in there too.
Yeah. How much are you going to spend on market? Doing things like your budgeting, doing things like, so I have a business plan jumpstart that helps walk people through how to do a really basic, non-scary business plan. You're not doing projections for like 5 years. You're just, what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, right? Like, what are you best at? What do you want to be known for? These are sometimes the business planning that we need to do. If you do a business plan for your new shop opening in March, that isn't just based on how much you're going to sell, but how you want to make people feel, how you want to be perceived in your community, like you're going to make a much bigger impact.
Yeah, totally agree. I love it. Any other questions, guys? I'm posting all the links that Alison is mentioning.
So good at, I'm like, I have too many things. I wish I just had one thing. I only have one book and one course, but I'm like, I have something for everything. You want to build a website? I got it. You want to do a business plan? I got it. Send emails? I got it. But anything you need for business, I got it.
I think that's great though. I mean, if you had one thing, then you wouldn't be so exciting to talk to, honestly. So I love you, but yeah, you're here to help our community. And I think that's great. I mean, everyone that's watching, having a strong business helps us be a strong company too. It's a little bit selfishness that we want to like share all this information. We want our whole entire community to be strong and thriving. So that's why we're here. That's why you do what you do. And so, yeah, I love it all. So I'm glad I have things to like look up while you're talking.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it is. Our industry is in such an interesting place right now between, some people are really thriving. Actually, they've mastered the art of just the plain old, again, what you and I do, that direct marketing, sending straight to their customers, getting orders in advance, getting paid in advance, limiting their offerings so that they're not like, here are 800 arrangements to choose from. Here are 3 things we're doing. And they're selling a lot. And people are very happy to buy because they're very eager to connect. And and show gestures of I'm thinking of you during
Yeah.
this year of, isolation and pandemic.
Yeah.
And then there are the people like myself, right, in the wedding business who are really struggling with, wow, aside from when you look at how my sales were just decimated, right? I had
Mhm.
4 tiny events. The lack of that joy of getting to do the arrangements, the reason I
Right.
do this, the reason I wrote this book, because I love this. I love doing this. I still love this 18 years into it. I'm not like, I can't wait. Plenty of people are like, you should stop doing weddings. You should really just focus on the courses and the teaching. You'd go much further, much faster. And I get that. But then I wouldn't do this other thing I really love. And
Right.
I love teaching. It's not that I don't love that. I super duper love. I could talk to you all day. But it's true. But I do love the floral design aspect. I love making customers happy. I love when someone sends me, one of my really small October wedding was like, everything was so perfect. Thank you so much. Right. For the 6 people
Right.
total that
Wow.
enjoyed it, but it's meaningful to them. And that's something I learned a long time ago too, when I was, on this quest, who am I? What does my business do? And you think, well, really great businesses, they make a difference, right? They impact the world, they change lives. And you go, well, am I changing the world? Yeah, we actually are. We are changing people's individual worlds. We are making their dreams come true. We're making them feel heard. We're celebrating them and their lives and their milestones, and we're making it memorable. They will remember us.
Yeah.
They remember us many years after. What we do does matter, and maybe it's not, curing COVID.
Right.
But doesn't mean it's not important to the people that you're dealing with. And I think that's what we always have to really bring ourselves back to in a moment of burnout or in a moment of stress, whether it's, making tons of Christmas arrangements or when your fingers are like so tired and sore at Valentine's Day. Like every single thing that went out impacted somebody's life in some way. It becomes a memory. Like I can still remember 3 red roses in a vase that I got when I was probably in 5th grade, right? I
That's so sweet.
still remember them though, right?
Yeah.
So what we do matters, and it's important to keep that perspective.
Amen to that. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. All right. So let's remind people how they can connect with you and grab your book. I'm going to put the link there, but you want to tell people again, just in case they came later, how they can
Yes,
grab your book?
you can find me and everything about me at realflowerbusiness.com. And right on my homepage, when you click, there's like you can start here button. And if you click there, it's got a whole bunch of links. It'll show you where you can order my book if you would like to. And I will be signing copies and shipping them out probably every day this week. And I'll just keep shipping them until I'm sold out. I don't know, I might only have like 50 copies left or so. I actually probably have like 45 copies left now that I think about it.
Wow. That's so
So
exciting, though.
thanks. It's, I didn't realize I was going to be in the shipping business. So it's a new thing to learn. I got to get my envelopes and but
Yes.
I told you,
That's our world.
Cindy at the post office is like my new BFF.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of our world too. Shipping. That's what we do. So
Yep. And it's an art form.
it is. I'm glad I'm not in charge of that because I don't think it can hang very well.
Well, it's like new things in my life. I have this little note right on my computer now. It says, if it doesn't ship, it doesn't count.
That's so good. That's so good.
Always staying motivated to keep on top of it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think that's a wrap. Thank you, Alison, so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else that you wanted to share before we go and wrap up? And
big, huge thanks for having me. I'm so just excited to talk about the book. So I appreciate you having me on. People have been super supportive And whether you get it from me or from Florist Review, it is there for you anytime. And I can't wait for you to have it on your shelf.
Yay, so exciting. Congratulations again, Allison.
Thank you so
So
much.
amazing. I'm so happy for you. And that's it, guys. If you guys have any questions for our future shows, let me know. Make sure you mark your calendars for December 2nd at 2 p.m. Eastern. I have Lauren and Rachel of Sweet Root Village. They're going to be talking about how to stay organized, hiring the right team, and scaling. So lots of really great topics, and you don't want to miss it. And of course, keep on emailing me. Send me either it's DM, email. You can use our contact form on our website. However it is, it'll come to us. And then also Thanksgiving's coming up. So, this holiday is probably going to look a little different for many people. And whether that is the case or not, I just hope that you have a really wonderful holiday. And, as I'm reflecting on what I'm thankful for, I just wanted to share with you guys that I love you all. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you for taking, precious time. Time is so precious and so important, and we have so little of it. I feel like all the time as I get older and older, I feel like I have less and less. And so I just really appreciate whether it's a couple minutes or a whole entire hour and a half episode, whatever it is. I'm just really thankful for every single thing, the watch, the listen, the podcast, the videos, everything. So thank you so much. And, I just feel really blessed to be a part of this amazing flower community. Thanks for having me, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And happy Thanksgiving to you, Allison.
Thanks. You too. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right. Take care.